means. You ever get disrespectful with my officers, I will remove your soul from your body.
Do it, man. Do what you gotta do.
No.
When dumb cops make mistakes, the consequences can be fatal.
Don't ever touch me again.
Sir.
Get the off me.
Sir.
We're about to delve into the stories of 4 police officers who made such grave errors in judgment that their careers were irrevocably damaged within mere minutes. Handling intoxicated individuals is a challenging aspect of policing, and often, officers can de-escalate potentially volatile situations with skillful intervention and the right attitude. However, it seems that one particular officer failed to remember all but one part of his training, leading to catastrophic results. Sergeant Police, a veteran of the Sunrise Police Department, had accumulated 20 years of experience on the force. With such an extensive background, he was considered one of the most seasoned officers in the department. This makes his actions during an incident in November 2021 all the more perplexing and disheartening. Upon arriving at the scene, Sergeant Police encountered his fellow officers engaged in a struggle with an individual. What transpired next was a shocking departure from the expected conduct of a police officer with his level of experience. Despite his extensive training and years of service, Sergeant Police's response to the situation was far from exemplary. Instead of employing his knowledge and skills to defuse the situation, he made a series of decisions that not only exacerbated the conflict, but also led to severe consequences for his career. The details of this incident serve as a stark reminder that even the most experienced officers can falter, and that poor judgment in critical moments can have lasting repercussions. The case of Sergeant Police illustrates the importance of continuous training, adherence to protocol, and maintaining a level-headed approach in high-stress situations. It also highlights how a single lapse in judgment can overshadow decades of dedicated service, leaving a lasting impact on both the individual officer and the department as a whole.
On my wrist, I can't move. Marshall, let go.
So what you gotta do is just get in the car.
Don't break off it.
All right, just get in the car.
No, he doesn't want in the car.
Car.
Get in the car. Get
Just
in the
get in the
car.
car.
All right, I'm getting in.
Get your feet in.
The suspect had been taken into custody on Sunset Strip following allegations that he had assaulted another man. Officers were attempting to place him in the patrol car, but the suspect was not cooperating. At this point, Sergeant Police, drawing on his 20 years of experience, decided to intervene. He pushed his fellow officers aside, believing his extensive background qualified him to take control of the situation.
Hey, look at me. Look at me. Look at me. You want to play games? You're playing with the wrong mother.
What you gotta do, man? You gonna mace me?
Look at me, mother.
The suspect finally decided to comply when the exceedingly aggressive officer intervened, and one might expect the situation to resolve there. However, inexplicably, Sergeant Police grew increasingly furious. The escalation continued until one courageous officer could no longer stand by and watch, feeling compelled to act.
You want to play games? You ever get disrespectful with my officers, I will remove your soul from your body.
Do it, man. Do what you gotta do. Do what you gotta do.
No.
Sergeant Police must have been having a particularly terrible day, as his threats to remove the suspect's soul from his body prompted a young female officer to intervene and pull him back. This intervention only infuriated him further, leading him to grab her by the neck. This action was not only illegal and a massive overreaction, but also a terrifying experience for the rookie officer involved.
Just let it be.
We clear?
Yes, sir.
And I'll see you in about 5 minutes.
Can you stop pulling the handcuffs from my wrist? Hold it real quick so I can unlock the car.
Like I'm running somewhere. I'm right here.
Sergeant Police was eventually charged with felony battery against a fellow officer, a serious offense carrying severe consequences. In the aftermath, he opted to retire from the Sunrise Police Department in November 2022. As of this video's upload, his case remains unresolved. This incident underscores the crucial role cameras play in law enforcement. Not only do they aid in capturing criminals, but they also expose misconduct among officers. For instance, in Seabrook, Texas, a man was pulled over by a patrol car. He decided to turn his dash cam towards himself to document the interaction, capturing potential corruption in real time.
roll down?
Why do you pull me over?
I'll tell you that if you roll it down.
Why can't you tell me now?
Because the reason I pulled you over is you were yelling something from your car.
So what?
Huh?
So what? That's why you pull me over, because I'm
Because I
yelling?
don't know if you're in need of help or anything.
Oh, I don't need help.
So,
Thank you.
Okay, let me see your driver's license real quick.
I don't need help.
You might be wondering why the driver appears defensive. The sequence began moments earlier when the driver, from inside his vehicle, directed an expletive at the officer. Although this act itself was not illegal, the officer opted to pursue the driver. Subsequently, when the driver signaled to make a turn, the officer promptly pulled him over.
It's already cracked.
I can't see that.
Well,
This thing.
it doesn't matter. Here. I don't wish to answer questions.
You have to let me know if there's a weapon in the car. Did you not take the class?
I did.
Did they tell you you have to tell them? if
When
they
you
ask?
demand identification, I have to display this. That's what they told me in the class. That's what the law says.
The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution states, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances. It is frequently invoked to support legal protection for the freedom of speech, but the First Amendment safeguards several other rights too. It shields the freedom of religion, and it prohibits the establishment of a national religion. It protects the media's ability to report to the public. It shelters the right to assembly and the related freedom of association. Finally, the First Amendment ensures that we can bring our concerns to the government's attention via the right to petition. Although the First Amendment refers specifically to protecting these rights from being violated by Congress, they are also protected from infringement by other branches of the federal government. Since 1925, these rights are also incorporated, meaning that they cannot be violated by state or local governments. If you agree that the First Amendment's protections are vital to our freedom, please like the video and show your support. The officer made two significant errors right from the start. Initially, he stated he pulled over the driver for shouting from his car window, but then shifted his reasoning, suggesting he stopped to check the driver's mental state. In the United States, most people understand that free speech, including passive use of expletives, is protected by the First Amendment. When challenged by the driver, the officer changed his justification again, claiming the stop was due to the driver's turn. However, the driver's turn was perfectly legal, rendering the entire stop unnecessary and based on a completely different rationale. Fortunately, the driver was keenly aware of this inconsistency, allowing the officer's actions to be recorded on his dash cam for public scrutiny.
Do I smell alcohol in your breath?
No, you don't.
How do I know?
Because you can't smell my
I
breath?
can smell something coming
Oh,
out.
really?
Let's see. Let me do some field sobriety.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, where are you coming from?
Huh?
Where are you coming from?
You saw me where I was coming
Oh,
from.
yeah, I just saw you driving down.
Are you done with this?
I'm done with that, yeah.
All right, cool.
Where are you coming from?
I don't answer questions. I've already told you. Let me know when I'm free to go. Also, what is your name? Your name? Sheriff? That's your name? Sheriff?
Right about it right there.
I'm not familiar with the English alphabet, sir.
Be on the ticket.
Okay. Can I have an incident number, please? Oh, a ticket. A ticket, okay.
Now the police officer is being tough and refusing to disclose his name to the driver. However, the officer is mistaken because Texas law mandates that officers must provide their identification when requested by a member of the public.
While I have you here, okay? I don't want you exiting the vehicle because you have a weapon in the car.
Did
Or
I
I'm going
exit
to-
the-
or I'm going to
Did I
assume you
exit
have-
the vehicle?
I'm
Did
giving
I
you a
exit
heads
the
up.
vehicle?
Give you your heads up.
Did I exit the vehicle? Hey, can I? You do have a dash cam, right? Very good. You can't just pull me over because I said the police. I hope you realize that, stupid.
Is that your current address? 1622?
Is there a question?
Yes, sir. Is that your current
Do
address?
I answer questions?
Okay, I'll just assume that's incorrect then.
And why would you do that? Did you read my address on the driver
It
license?
didn't have an address. It didn't
That-
have an apartment number on your driver's
Of course it
license.
does.
Let me see. Can you verify?
You've already seen it. I've already complied with that part.
I don't. Okay, I'll be right back. Yeah, I say that I've never met anybody quite like you that would yell at an officer doing their job. But
So,
you have a great
let
day.
me
There's no
understand.
warnings, no fines, no penalties.
May I ask a question?
You can tell from the officer's body language that he has become increasingly defensive after his authority was questioned. Despite attempting various tactics to outwit the driver, none have succeeded, ultimately culminating in the most critical error of the entire encounter.
Questions on there? There's the address.
Yeah, no, I have a question. Can you get your supervisor here, please? Is the stop over?
The stop is over. You may leave.
All right.
Please don't exit until I get out. Until I leave.
Well, you said the stop is over, right? Okay, I'm not getting out. I will. Okay, there is no need to draw your weapon, man. Are you drawing your weapon? I didn't get out of the car. You told me that already. A warning? For what? Failed to signal with turn indicator within 100 feet.
After declaring the end of the traffic stop, the officer instructed the driver to remain in his vehicle, a command that was followed. It raises doubts about the officer's competence. Following the conclusion of the stop, the driver lodged a complaint and plans to file a lawsuit. If the initial officer seemed inept, the subsequent 2 officers were even more foolish, as they were recorded discussing strategies to wrongfully detain an innocent individual.
I'm on the side of the road, legally parked, with a sign which is protected by the First Amendment.
In March 2022, 2 officers spotted a man named Jonathan holding a sign on the roadside alerting drivers to an upcoming speed trap. They decided to pull over and investigate. The officers were deeply offended by Jonathan's actions.
Nothing. I'm gonna do it right here where I'm at. Oh, I'm not?
Why have drivers coming up to me telling me that you're jumping out in traffic?
Because apparently they're erroneous. I don't give a what somebody else says. What did you witness? Nothing of the sort. So keep your to yourself, pal.
The Delaware police officers were concerned that Jonathan's actions could impact the crucial revenue stream from traffic fines, which contributes to their department budgets. However, Jonathan refuted their allegations of stepping into the road and stood firm in his position.
You keep saying jumping in traffic. When did you witness this offense? Don't you came to me. You came to me. You came to me. You came to me.
Tell me that you're jumping out in front of them with the sign.
So they want to lick your boots. Let them.
However, the actions taken by one officer might have potentially violated this citizen's fundamental right to freely express himself.
Don't put your hands on me. Do not give me my property back. You piece of give me my property back. You see this? You tyrant piece of You tyrant. What are your badge numbers?
Step back, okay?
No,
Don't walk up
no,
to me
you
like that.
stole my property.
Did you see anything in my hands?
You
Stole your
piece
property?
of
Have a nice day.
After informing the officers that he intends to return promptly with a new sign, Jonathan drives off, directing an insulting hand gesture towards the police. As expected, the officers pull him over in response to the gesture. What unfolds during the subsequent traffic stop goes beyond mere incompetence. It appears to reflect potential corruption within the interaction.
You're stopping me for constitutionally protected speech, right?
Because you had your hand out the window.
This is what I did. You got a problem with that?
Sir, listen to me. Listen to me.
No, no, no.
All right, listen.
Go
That's
away.
called disorderly conduct.
No, it is not.
That is disorderly
That
conduct.
is
If
called
you were doing it
freedom
out in the
of speech.
If you were
No,
out in
no,
the public,
no, no,
you are
no,
out
no,
in the
no,
public
no,
and people
no.
see you.
No, it is
Can I
not.
get your license,
Here's what's going to
No,
happen.
License, please.
no.
Here's what's going to happen.
I want your supervisor, please.
I am the supervisor. I am the supervisor.
License,
And that's why
please.
I'm here.
Both officers appear to be struggling to articulate the reason for pulling him over, and their confusion is becoming quite embarrassing.
I'm going to take you to
But
court.
here's what I'm saying. Take it to court. That's what I want you to do. That's what I
License,
want you.
please.
I want you to take it to court.
So,
License,
but
please.
before we
Get
go
your
any
license.
farther, you're pulling me over for what?
Because
For
you had
disorderly
your
conduct.
Because you had your finger out the
Disorderly
window.
conduct,
Now,
what?
here's what's about to happen. You're about to be arrested again for resisting arrest.
No, I'm not resisting
Yes, well,
anything.
yeah. Right
No.
now you're being detained.
For
okay?
what?
You're being
I
detained
told you
for,
why I stopped you already, sir.
For putting my middle finger up. That's
Yeah,
correct?
no,
Correct.
no. Exactly.
For,
Right.
You extended your arm out the window.
No, no.
It seems the officers are attempting to arrest him using any available charges. And if that fails, they turn to underhanded methods.
The next
out
thing
the
to do,
window.
we're going to take you in, we're going to tow the car, and we'll call social services for the kid.
Oh, so
and
now
the
you're
dog.
threatening. Now you're threatening my
No,
child.
it's not
No,
a
he's telling
threat,
what's
it's
gonna
a
happen.
promise.
You're threatening my child now.
I'm telling you what's going to happen.
You heard the officer, didn't you? He just threatened to involve social services and take Jonathan's child away from him. What's even more alarming about this situation is that these 2 police officers intend to imprison him by any means necessary, and the entire incident was captured on their own dashboard camera.
I'm telling you, if you put your arm out the road, your hand out the road, and you're like, with a middle finger, you could, that's like a, isn't that? I'm pretty sure. You sure about that? He stuck his arm out the window with his middle finger. Okay. As he was driving by, like, oh, game on. Okay. Isn't that, that's what I'm saying, like, what is it, arms protruding or protruding? Yeah. Help me find that stuff.
Despite being informed by their supervisor that the charges would be dismissed, they still have a strong intention to arrest Jonathan and place him in handcuffs.
Right.
Yeah, something like that'll fly. Unfortunately, I mean, you can't. We can't pull people over. We can't write them tickets for telling us to fuck off or giving us a middle finger and stuff like that. And, you know, that's their right to do so. But all right, I'll do some more work up on this guy, and I'll pass it on.
And then number two, we have no real basis. So he's going to do something stupid one day where we are going to be able to lock him up for disorderly conduct and I just wish we had the witness and even had it on video.
In the end, Jonathan took legal action against the officers, alleging they violated his constitutional rights by preventing him from alerting drivers about a speed trap in September 2023. Following a legal battle, he emerged victorious, receiving a settlement of $5,000. Nobody stands for corrupt cops, so it's particularly gratifying when a principled officer brings one to justice, as occurred on January 14th, 2021. A resident from Harnett County, North Carolina, reported her dirt bike stolen, setting off a sequence of events that tragically ensnared an innocent 14-year-old who was unjustly treated as though he were a common criminal.
Do me a favor, man. Go and put your hands on your back for me, okay?
16 days after the dirt bike went missing, it surfaced on Facebook Marketplace. Upon discovering this, the owner arranged a meeting with the seller to confront them. When they arrived, they encountered 14-year-old Malcolm, who indeed possessed the dirt bike. They negotiated a deal and informed Malcolm they were going to an ATM to withdraw cash, but instead, they called 911. The issue was that Malcolm was completely innocent. He had purchased the bike in good faith from the actual thief without knowing it was stolen. He had a hobby of refurbishing and selling bikes, a commendable entrepreneurial endeavor at his age. Consequently, rather than expecting a profit, Malcolm found himself unexpectedly in handcuffs.
Okay. Do me a favor, man. Go and put your hands on your back for me, okay? I did. You were in possession of a stolen motor vehicle. What? Diggs, you want to go and verify that for me? What? Do me a favor, man. Just come to my car right over here, okay? What the? Can I get the bill of sale and show you that I bought it? Yeah. We'll get all that taken care of, man. But what I need to do is just hang tight for me right here, okay? What did I do? Just hang tight for me right here, okay? So here's what's going on, okay?
The officer arrested Malcolm without confirming any details. There was no effort made to establish whether Malcolm actually possessed stolen property or to listen to his version of events.
Well, I'm going to work on getting you out of those soon, okay? Just keep cooperating with me. I appreciate it. And we'll get everything squared away. I don't, okay. And sir, I'm trying to find the bill of sale. Sir, and I'm not saying that you stole it. Right now, what we've got is we just got a stolen motor vehicle. We're not saying that you stole the vehicle. Okay, I'm not saying that at all, okay? But it still is a crime to be in possession of a stolen motor vehicle.
Dealing in stolen property, referred to in some jurisdictions as fencing, involves the selling, reselling, pawning, bartering, or otherwise transferring possession of stolen goods. These types of offenses are common throughout St. Petersburg, Clearwater, and Tampa, and are, in many instances, charged in conjunction with a burglary offense. The typical DSP investigation is initiated when the alleged victim contacts law enforcement to report that certain property has been taken from his or her home, garage, shed, or vehicle. The sale or transfer of stolen goods from one individual to another can be difficult to investigate and prove. Many dealing in stolen property prosecutions, therefore, result from the accused person having pawned the stolen item or items. Certain types of property have a tendency to turn up in local pawn shops, including jewelry items, firearms, and lawn equipment. This is one of the first places law enforcement will look in attempting to locate stolen property. When it appears the items have been located, the alleged victim will usually identify the items at the shop or by viewing a photograph of them. The items may also be identified through unique designs or markings, in the case of jewelry, or serial numbers. At the time of the transaction, the pawnbroker will require the person pawning the item to place his or her thumbprint on the face of the pawn slip, which is how the accused person is typically identified. In some instances, the transaction is also recorded on video. It is rare that a pawnbroker will have an independent recollection of a particular transaction for purposes of identification. The officer asserts that possessing a stolen vehicle is illegal, which is generally true. However, in this case, it may not apply because Malcolm was unaware that the bike was stolen. Purchasing or owning an item knowingly acquired through theft is a crime, but Malcolm's innocence in this matter makes his arrest potentially unjust and unlawful.
I can show you if you can go. You can go on my phone. I can show you exactly what I bought.
Okay.
We met at the Lillington Presbyterian Church.
Okay.
If you know what that is.
Okay.
Lillington Presbyterian Church.
Well, your dad's coming over here right now.
It was about 8:30 when we met.
Hey, how you doing, sir? Hey,
Dad, I need that bill of sale.
reason all this is going down, that vehicle's been entered as stolen at the National Crime Information Center. Do you have the bill of sale by any chance, sir?
Well, I don't know where it is. It's either in my room or in the garage. You gotta tell me where it is now.
As Malcolm's father searches for evidence that his son purchased the bike legitimately, two other officers who arrived at the scene expressed their apprehensions about the unfolding situation.
From what I heard, 1095, and that was before I even verified the VIN.
Okay.
But
that's my first thing I asked.
that's what now I'm not 100% certain, but I believe I heard essentially 1095 before I was even able to verify the VIN.
Eventually, one of them chooses to step in and take action.
He's
detained right now because he is.
He's 14. He's 14.
Yes.
Okay.
So I already explained to him he's detained right now. I told him that.
So why is he detained?
Because that's a stolen motor vehicle.
Okay. So.
I mean, Diggs verified the VIN number, right?
Is that before all that you verified before you?
I detained him and then we
that's why I
verified.
asked if he was 1095 or detained.
He's detained.
Okay. So. Obviously he's a juvenile, right?
Yeah.
Ain't no sense of having him sit in the car with handcuffs on.
Okay.
You ain't. If he was 18, and you might be taking him to jail for possession of stolen property. Different. But you ain't gonna take him to jail, right? It's gonna be a petition.
Demonstrates a clear understanding of the distinction between detaining an adult and a minor. With a persuasive argument, he convinces his colleague to reconsider their stance. Eventually, the arresting officer reevaluates the situation and reverses their decision. Upon being released, Malcolm discovers the receipt for the dirt bike, which confirms his innocence. Subsequently, no further action is taken against him. However, Malcolm's family later holds a press conference where they call for reforms in policing practices following another incident of a young person facing mistreatment by law enforcement.